Hey guys, Dan and Dave back with another Battlefield video. It's been a while for us, but it's been a crazy week. I've been saving up all the information I can. It's been Gamescom and it's been insane. We've been doing a lot of watching and reading, and it's just been really awesome, the kind of stuff, especially with this new map that was released, but we'll talk about that later.
Well, I've been doing a lot of watching. Dad's been doing a lot of reading.
Okay, well, I mean, there you go. I was kind of trying to make you sound better, Dave. I do that, but I've been a lot of sitting in my room doing nothing. So first of all, I'm just gonna have a picture of each of the classes set up now since that's been released. I know it's kind of old information now, but they just look so cool. You got the American, the Russian, and the Chinese all teams in this game, and they just look so badass. They all look different. They have their own look. You can see how the American team actually is holding like American weapons for the most part. Like it's really good pictures. I just wanted to kind of show those. And now we're just gonna go straight into classes and stuff that has been confirmed and pretty much everything we know about them so far, most of which. So I'll go straight into the assault class, which for anyone who doesn't play Battlefield, that's pretty much the frontline infantry medic for the Battlefield class. He, in this game, is going to be quite different, where he has rifles, carbines, DMRs, and shotguns, where in the past he pretty much just had rifles and shotguns, and there were like submachine guns thrown in there.
Yeah, PDWs.
Yeah, and the fact that he has carbines and DMRs now is going to give him much more like versatile gameplay. He can, change what he's doing depending on the situation more.
It's weird to put carbines in there though, because like I don't see the point in using a carbine when you can use a rifle.
Well, I'm kind of looking forward to that though. Maybe the carbines don't have such a weakness to the rifles as they did in Battlefield 3, because that was one of the
Yeah,
big
I
things.
hope they balance it a little bit better, because in Battlefield 3 the carbines were completely useless compared to rifles, but hopefully they'll fix that.
So for the assault class, he's like I said, he's basically the medic. You've got the med pack to heal your teammates. You got a new gadget in this one called the first aid pack, I guess, which is like a small one you can throw in the ground, and your teammate can pick it up, and it kind of sticks to him for a certain amount of time, slowly healing him. Instead of like an area effect, he can run around with it. That's really cool. And he has like grenade launchers. He's the frontline guy. He's always in the battle. Next is engineer. I'm gonna have Dave talk a little bit about engineer here.
Yeah, then engineers changed like completely from the Battlefield 3 engineer that we knew was, carbines, RPGs. Now he can have, actually, no, his standard weapon is a PDW. He can, carbines are an all-kit weapon now, along with DMR and shotgun, as Dan mentioned earlier. But it's weird that, like, one of my complaints from Battlefield 3 was that the engineer was always at long-range fighting, and now they're after giving them, because you're playing engineer for the bigger maps with the vehicles, and now they give you PDW weapons, personal defense weapons like MP7s. It's like, at least they still give us carbines and DMRs though, but that's as far as the weapons go,
Yeah, they actually lowered the range of the engineer gun now. It's like we
Yeah.
didn't like in Battlefield 3 that the carbine was less than the like M16s and stuff, and now they give us like submachine guns. Like, thanks
Yeah.
guys.
But they did address one complaint that me and Dan had from Battlefield 3 was the low damage RPGs. We always found it was hard to blow up tanks. RPGs do more damage now, varied against the javelins. The lock-on things do less damage.
Yeah.
So javelins were like a one-hit disable. Now javelins are weaker, and I'd imagine there's still going to be weak points on the tank or whatever. And there's a new RPG, well, not RPG, it's like the Gustav from Battlefield Bad Company 2, the guide-on rocket. And also RPGs can lock on to laser-designated targets. So, if you get your recon out there with a soft lamp, he will be able to, laze tanks for him, and then the RPG will be able to lock onto that. And, you have the higher damage weapon, like the RPG, that's, going to be pretty dramatic against tanks, like, hopefully, is what I'm hoping, yeah. Is going to be able to lock on and actually, hitting from distance, which will be cool.
I'm sure too, guys, that the javelin will still do good damage and everything. We're not saying they've become weak, but I did read, this is from an official, Battlefield blog, that they're implementing something to where the actual like RPGs where you have to aim them are going to do a higher amount of damage than the guns that are just lock on fire. They're called fire and forget weapons, I guess. And there are actually also weapons in here now. I don't know if you mentioned it, Dave. They're actually like wire guided to where you can guide it.
Yeah, I said that.
Okay, with your and I'm wondering if those are gonna do more
like
or
medium
less damage. Yeah, like if
I'd
they're gonna have.
I'd imagine RPG unguided highest damage. Guide on is your medium damage, and then fire and forget, because you can just fire it and then just run away.
Yeah.
Least least dangerous one to fire, because you can get it from distance too. They're gonna do the least amount of damage. Makes sense to me. But they've added some new ties to the engineer class as well. They now have an AP or MP APS system, which is basically a trophy system. So it will destroy incoming projectiles, basically. So I'd imagine it will destroy RPGs coming at you, grenades, stop flashbangs. I don't know. We don't know for certain what exactly how it's gonna affect the game or whatever. But it sounds cool, especially for, things like MCOM rooms.
That's
Stop people
exactly
from
what I was
chucking
gonna say.
nades in and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It'll make defending a lot easier to stop that nade spam, especially on maps like Metro. I don't know what they will have in lines a map like Metro for, Battlefield 4, but another type they gave him was the M2 Slam mine. Nah, Slam. It's basically a claymore for vehicles. So I'd imagine it won't be highly effective against tanks, but I imagine for jeeps and things like that, it will be, just blow them to bits.
Yeah.
I'd imagine a tank will probably be able to take it, maybe get disabled or not even disabled.
And the,
But
and the fact that you'll actually like be able to hide this, seeing as how it's like a
yeah,
claymore
it's a
type thing. Yeah.
really small mine, and I'm pretty sure it's the directional like a claymore as well. It's not just tank rolls over and blows it up, so you have to hit from like a certain direction,
No, yeah.
and it like blasts out that way. Then
One
so
direction.
yeah, shut up.
So I guess that's most of it. Most of which we have right now for the engineer. I'll skip over to support. A couple new things for support. I mean, they have the LMGs, carbines, and DMRs. Recurring thing. I haven't read that they have shotguns yet, but you can assume.
I'd imagine they will.
Yeah, you can assume that they'll have shotguns. So here's some new information for the support that is very interesting. I actually really like it. Is that they're now pretty much the suppression class. They've kind of overhauled the suppression system in here to where all the other classes do less suppression than what was in Battlefield 3, and the support class is the class that's going to give you that suppression. Like, they're the ones that are going to be doing the suppressing, which makes total sense, and I really like the idea of which they're going here. There's also a bit of more revamp for that, but we'll talk about that later. The support class is also still going to have their C4 and Claymores, which a lot of people weren't expecting for a long time, honestly, because of information they released about Recon.
Yeah.
But evidently both classes are still going to have those. We have the XM25 in support, which is a lot of people have seen footage of this thing now. It's pretty much like a grenade launcher gun. Is pretty much what it is. I'm sure you've seen some footage on it by now. And last of all, it's been released that they have a remote mortar now, which plays like the mortar in Battlefield 3. You have a mortar, but instead of sitting down on it, you can actually literally set it wherever you want, walk away, and you pull out like a little fucking iPad, and you can control the mortar from anywhere around the map, I guess, pretty much. There might be a range on it.
I hope there's a range on it, but it's basically like when you have the MAV, you put the MAV down, then you go back to your corner, and then you take out the little screen. That's basically what he has.
Oh yeah,
for Battlefield 4, he's got that little screen.
Which I'm not a big fan of this, but then again, I guess I'm not a big fan of the mortar in general. So.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a bitch move, along with this XM25, which honestly I think DICE are smart about, and I think will be very weak against infantry, and it will just be used for taking walls out. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Or light vehicles.
Yeah, I'm fine if it's taking out jeeps and trucks and stuff like that, or Hummers, but as far as, effective against infantry, I don't think it should be used at all. Like, I think it should take like 5 grenades to blow up a soldier, because otherwise, I know it's not realistic, but otherwise it just gets frustrating.
Yeah. So next, Dave, is your famous Recon class you love running as.
Well, Recon is just amazing. I'm so happy what they've done with the Recon class, because it's no longer... In Battlefield 3, Recon was useless. Let's be honest. It was completely on... if you wanted to do well...
It was the class you played as when you were really bored and you just wanted to hop in and do nothing. That's what the Recon became.
So now they have carbines in it, because as they were saying, I imagine they're gonna have DMRs in it, which is
once again, I just
don't
haven't
use
found
them.
information.
They're assholes. Just don't use those guns, and shotguns again, obviously. But so basically they're gonna have the standard kind of weapons again. M40, the Scout from Counter Strike is in it. The JNG is back. I'd imagine the SV98. M98B is back. Basically the standard arsenal for the weapons for the sniper. But now he's going to be able to range a scope. There's going to be variable scopes, and there's like a rangefinder built into the scopes, as far as I can tell. Don't know if it's on all scopes or certain scopes. There's a 20. There's a 20 times scope now as well, which is is there going to be bigger maps? Because the maps in Battlefield 3 were pretty big, and all we ever needed was a 12 time. So if they feel like they need to put it 20 times, maybe there's going to be bigger maps than what we're used to. But the motion sensor balls are back. Is that right, Dan?
Yes.
Yeah, so motion sensor balls are back.
I'll have a picture of that.
Thank God. I don't know. Like, what good was the tug? Let's be realistic. It was shit. They also get claymores now, which I'm not a fan of, because you're gonna have the snipers up in rooftops or whatever, and you're gonna have to go through a building to get there, and he's gonna have claymores down. It just slows the whole process down. You going up and taking his dog tags. But C4. Like it feels like they're making the recon class more of a spec ops class, as Dan was saying earlier before we started recording. Like they're making him an all kind of, just special. He can do anything, which I like.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a lone soldier. He just goes in and like secretly gets in, blows up the tanks, gets the objective done, and that's it. Like, before anyone, and he's got all his, standard equipment like the MAV, the tugs, and the radio beacon again. So just a couple of extra tweaks to him that's just made him perfect for me anyway.
No, yeah, he looks like he's gonna play really well. I cannot wait to get my hands on Recon and to finally be able to feel like back when I was playing Battlefield 2 and like when I was Recon, I really felt like I was like contributing, and so I'm looking forward to that. We have a couple new gadgets really quick that have been shown off or mentioned. We already know that like I mentioned earlier, the assault class is going to get a little like first aid pack that he can now throw on soldiers and they can heal just them.
He can throw the pack further now as well.
Oh yeah.
He can throw that pack further and higher than the original pack.
Okay, and there's also an ammo version for the support guy. He can also do the same thing with an ammo pack. The Recon class has now a portable laser designator instead of like the Soul Flam. They actually have kind of like a Soul Flame they can run around with, almost like I don't know. I imagine it would be some sort of like, I don't know, thing you can like binoculars or something that you can look through. That
I forgot to mention that the Recon does actually have like binoculars now and they kind of have like thermal vision on them.
Oh really?
Yeah, I saw someone using them on live stream the other day.
Nice. I haven't actually seen that yet. That's cool. And then there's a tactical light being added in, which is awesome. For all of you out there that didn't know, the flashlight is coming back, so we can all be angry at that again. But they have a tactical light added in now, which I love, which is basically the flashlight, but it only turns on when you ADS, when you actually look down your sight, it turns on. So it's like whenever you pick up your weapon, the light turns on. I love that idea. I just don't understand why the flashlight's still in it if you have that.
Yeah,
but
it's just... I guess people just want to be assholes and they're just going to pick the flashlight over that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see someone seeing... It's like, oh, I'm going to use the flashlight or I'll use the tactical light. They're going to use the flashlight.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm going to have the tactical light all the way over the flashlight.
Well, I'm not going to use either because I'm not bitch, but...
Well, I mean, they're going to be... there are maps designed to where you can turn off the electricity and, have to look in the dark and everything. But,
that's what you have night vision for, though, man. You don't need that.
It's true. Dave, you want to talk about the suppression, the different things they've done with this?
Yes, so the suppression, as Dan mentioned earlier, LMGs are more effective now than everything else, which is the way it should be, because honestly, the support class seemed really fucking weak,
Yeah.
It's just... Yeah. But that's one thing, so that's one tweak they've made. Less suppression in close quarters, which I don't know how... Like, can you think of any way that they've managed to do this, Dan?
I don't even know. I actually, when I first found this out...
I really like it.
No, yeah, I love it. And when I first found it out, I was literally sitting there like, how do they do that? Like, because evidently suppression is going to be less effective in close quarters. When you're like next to your enemy, it's not going to affect them as much.
Because that's when it's more annoying than at distance.
Yeah.
Like at distance, suppression isn't as effective. But up close, when there's a guy running around with a PKP just holding it down, it's like, well, I may as well just not shoot.
Yeah, it's just bow down,
Yeah.
Take me. But yeah, they're lowering it for close quarters to where it won't be as effective because they said they want close quarters battles to be about skill, which is of course they're gonna say that, but that's still great though because that's what we think too.
Yeah, and they've also changed it. The different it's not as blurry and not as, it kind of shakes your gun more rather than everything else around you for suppression. So it's not like your gun just seems to sway more, but yet your bullets actually go where they're supposed to go rather than you have your crosshairs on the guy and he just won't die and you're like, where are my bullets going? Because they're going everywhere because of the suppression. Now it'll be your gun will go everywhere, but the bullets will still go where the gun is aiming. So if you're good enough to control someone suppressing you, it won't be a problem anymore, which is what was like originally in Battlefield 3 from what I remember.
Yeah, it's really good how they're taking the suppression, the fact that they're taking out the random bullet deviation and everything, and I love what they're doing with suppression. They listened, guys, and that's really awesome. Next coming up is a really big part. This is the finale going on here. We're gonna talk about the field upgrades and pretty much what they mean. So everyone has seen that bar above your squad with the different squad perks, and everyone was wondering what that is. Those are the squad field upgrades, and that bar fills up by your squad getting squad points. I'm sure that's anything that has to do with squad points. Anything that your squad does together can heighten that. And if your squad gets wiped, if everyone in your squad dies, it will actually take away some of that bar. They haven't like officially said how much of that bar gets taken away, but I don't know. I'd assume it's 1 bar of it. I don't know. They actually have a mechanic really quick in the game now to where when you're the last person alive in your squad, it'll say last man standing on your screen or whatever to let you know, hey, don't die for a couple seconds or else you're gonna lose your
Let your squad swan back in.
Yeah. The Lone Wolf guy will still benefit because the first perk in the squad perk Bro Bar is what DICE calls it, I guess, is always going to be there. Like if your first perk is Sprint, you're always going to have Sprint on yourself, and then the other ones is what you gain. So you can still play Lone Wolf and still get at least 1 squad perk without having to worry about it. Dave, you want to talk about the trees a little bit going in here?
Yeah, I don't really understand it. You know better than me, but there's gonna be like for each, like for assault, there's gonna be like 2 different trees that the players can pick between, and it's just I don't know. And you go with it. It's just it confuses me so much.
Dave just doesn't like thinking about it.
Yeah, it's like.
So I guess I'll try to explain it. So really quick, there are 2 basic trees that anyone can pick, the offense tree and the defense tree. And then other than that, each class, assault, engineer, support, and recon, each get 2 of their own trees that they can pick instead. So the offense tree, for instance, gives you sprint, ammo, grenades, and reduced fall, respectively. And so pretty much what that means is if you pick the offense tree, you start off with sprint, you always have it. And then by gaining squad points, you can gain ammo for yourself, you gain grenades, and you gain reduced fall. And once you have reduced fall, that's it. You have all your perks, and if your squad gets wiped, you'll start losing them. The defense tree, on the other hand, gives you armor, cover, flak, and quick regen in that order. Armor, for people that don't know, cover, flak, and quick regen, they're pretty much self-explanatory. Cover and flak are in Battlefield 3. Quick regen means the time before you start regenerating health is less. And armor means shots to your chest do less damage, which Dave and I am sure will have a whole rant video on that being in this game.
See, Dan, I'm not 100% sure on this, but each soldier can pick his each individual tree. It's not like the squad has to run off the one tree. So it's not like the squad has to pick, attack, and they're all using that. Each individual soldier. So I could have attack, and you could be running defense, and
as far
someone
as
else
I
could
know,
be running something else.
As far as I know, each individual soldier can pick their tree. So me and Dave can be in a squad. I can have offense. He can have defense. So even though we level up as a squad and we'll reach our first perk first, he'll have armor and I'll have sprint. As far as I know, that's how it's working. That's how I would prefer it to work as well.
Honestly, to me, I don't know. I haven't used the system, but to me, it just sounds like they're complicating something that didn't need to be complicated. Just let me pick my perk, and then my teammate picks his perk, and we all just, your squad just picks what perks they want. But we'll have to wait and see. Personally, I don't like the sound of it, but I could be proven wrong. Yeah. Hopefully, I'll be proven wrong.
And I absolutely understand that standpoint. I'm just really looking forward to getting my hands on this and testing out myself. So like we have a little bit of information released, but not too much. Like, so I said there's 2 global trees, and then each class gets their own. So I can go into a little bit of detail of so the assault class has 2 trees. He has the combat medic tree and the grenadier tree. And the combat medic tree is going to give you the medic bag boost. I guess they're just perks. The medic bag, the sprint boost, the medical unit, and the defib upgrade. And you guys probably don't know what these are, but I'll have a picture in the background right now of what all the perks are, like what they do for you. So medic bag, sprint, medical unit, and defib upgrade. And then you could pick the grenadier tree, and that gives you grenade, sprint, 40mm grenade, and flak. And like I said, all the information will be on the screen right now of what those mean. So you can pick between that. Which one do you want? Do you want to be more of the medic, or do you want to be more of the frontline grenadier guy? You get a pick. We don't have any information on the other trees as what their perks are, but it has been released that the engineer trees are going to be anti-tank and mechanic, so you can pick whether you want to do damage to enemy vehicles or be able to repair your own faster. I love how they split that up. I know Dave was saying that he liked that too.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I like it in that sense. Even the way they describe the repair tool, if you're a mechanic, your repair tool will repair vehicles faster, but it'll also damage other vehicles faster.
Yeah, exactly. You're really becoming that role. I love how it actually makes the difference. And the support and recon trees haven't been released yet, but this is just assumption, guys. Don't take this with a grain of salt. But I mean, if I had to guess, because it's the only thing that makes sense, I'd say that the 2 support trees, the one for support is obviously going to have something to do with ammo. He's going to be the resupply kit. And the other one, the only thing that would make sense to me is if he's some sort of explosive. You know, he gets more C4, more claymores. He can put down more claymores. I know is one of the perks you can see in there. So those are the 2 trees for support that I would guess. And for recon, there's going to be something that has to do with sniping. Obviously, he's recon, so there's going to be one, like, I think there's a perk that lets you hold your breath longer. That's going to be one of his. Like,
yeah, he'll be like the long range sniper, and I imagine then there'll be maybe one for spotting, or maybe, you know, the C4 one. I'd imagine that might be one on its own. Then
that's actually a good point.
You know, rather than the long range sniper one, there might be one that's benefits you in close quarters more.
Yeah. Which would make sense, seeing as how they're really pushing the Spec Ops for recon. So it would make sense to have one for a close quarters recon. But I mean, that's pretty much all the information we have on field upgrades. You can switch whenever you want, they seem to say. Just anytime you want throughout the whole game, you can switch. And this won't reset your tree. Like, if I'm in a squad with Dave and I have 3 bars, and I get really pissed off at Dave because he sucks at Battlefield, and I want to go play with Gavin instead, I can switch to his squad and still have all 3 of my bars filled up. So,
well, I'll just switch to Gavin's squad and kick you out.
Son of a bitch. Yeah. So there's that, and it's just really cool that we've gone from, I believe it was 7 field upgrades, or sorry, squad perks in Battlefield 3 to, I think there's 29 now in Battlefield 4. So we went from 7 to 29. That's quite a jump.
And we pretty much know what they all are at the minute. So, you know, we could probably do a video covering them if anyone's interested.
Yeah, if you guys want, because like I said, there'll be a picture that keeps popping up in the background whenever I'm talking about them, of all of them. So if you want details on each one, we can do that if you guys want. Just let us know. But that pretty much completes everything we know on field upgrades, about the new classes. We wanted to get all this information out. We'll most likely be doing a video on just Gamescom by itself, like a Paracel Storm and that map and everything we've learned. It looks amazing. So we'll probably do that. Let us know what you guys think. And Dave, you got anything else you want to throw on the end?
Nah, I think we covered everything pretty well.
I know you never do, but
yeah.
I just like asking.
Yeah. Make me look bad.
It's okay. You do that yourself. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned some stuff from this. I know we're a couple days late, but we've been gathering as much information as possible.
Yeah,
trying to get
we don't want to just make a 2-minute video, you know.
Yeah,
we want to make something informative that's we know is going to be some way right.
We're very against 2-minute videos. The people that are like, oh look, there's going to be field upgrades. Bye. Like we're very against that. So we hope that you enjoyed and that you learned stuff and that you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to the Gamer Shelter if you liked the way we do the video, and you can like the video if you want to see more and everything. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the Paracel Storm video.